Hi again then guys, and welcome to another top-end speed tune, or straight line tune in particular, for Forza Horizon 3, and this time we've got another Hot Wheels DLC car, my personal favourite actually of the entire Hot Wheels pack, the Bone Shaker, one of the only hot rods to be featured in the game. And to be honest, it's funny, and I don't know how many of you guys would agree with this, but it's funny how often when I get a DLC pack, the car which I'm looking forward to the most often isn't as good as I'm hoping it will be. And it's often the cars that I don't really care for, or aren't really looking forward to that much, which actually turn out to surprise me. And that was kind of the case with the Bone Shaker. Not that I wasn't interested in it, but I didn't really know that I wanted it. And I didn't know how much I needed a car like this in the game, because now that I've got it, I love it. Especially the kind of performance that you can get out of this, in my opinion, fantastic looking car. Now, as far as the engine swap, it's really cool to be able to have that 1500 horsepower engine, so I would definitely recommend having that. I wasn't sure that they would allow that. I thought they might go up to the V8, maybe the V10, so that's very cool to have that kind of power. As you can see, I've fitted all-wheel drive, and I would recommend that for this one. For the aspiration, of course, you want the twin turbo to get the best power out of it. As you can see, I have not fitted the crazy rear wing on this one, or the front wing either. You could fit them if you want the look, but not for performance. They just don't really age a straight line speed. They improve handling, of course, but that's not the point of the tune, or not the primary purpose. As far as the rest, you guys know the drill though. Lower the weight as much as you can, fit all of your race parts, generally speaking. As you can see, I have not fitted the roll cage. The roll cage, incidentally, looks pretty insane on this car. It's fitted to the outside of the body instead of the inside. That's pretty creative, but personally I prefer the cleaner look. As far as the benchmark, it's pretty quick, that's for sure. 2 seconds to 60, 4.4 to 100, that alone is impressive, but the top end speed of 267 on the benchmark, well, that's even better, and it can even go beyond that. This car is insanely quick for a hot rod, and I'm so pleased that it is this fast, because some of the other cars from the pack, which you would want and expect to be quicker, such as the Twin Mill, aren't as fast as you'd expect them to be, so it's pretty cool. Now, as far as the gearbox, I've gone for a final drive, as you can see, of 3.1, then for the individual gears 2.9, 2, 1.5, 1.18, 0.95 and 0.77, so those gear ratios will be very familiar to people who have used a lot of my tunes before. As far as the alignment, we've got neutral, camber and toe, unless of course you want to have some stance. Stance could look pretty cool on this car actually. We've got 1 degree of caster for manoeuvrability, but as I always say, feel free to change that. It depends very much on personal driving style. Anti-roll I've got on 15, front and rear. That's a pretty big increase for the back end in particular. Springs I've got on 80, 70 and the highest ride height. You can lower it though, if you want to, of course. As far as dampers, we've got those on 8, 7, 4 and 3. Aero doesn't apply. And for the diff, no surprises there, 100% on acceleration, 0 on decel, and a 75% split in favour of that back end. If you find it to be a little bit too tail happy, then you could put it down to say 70, for instance, or if you want it to be more tail happy, obviously the opposite, up to 80 or even higher. Now, this tune is on my storefront. You can find it using the keywords down in the video description, but all that remains, obviously, is to take this little monster out on the street and see what it can do. Now, as I said, I absolutely love this car. It's easily and by far my favourite car of the entire Hot Wheels pack, and the performance is so fantastic on this thing. It's so much better than it very easily could have been, and I have to say, in terms of how fun it is to drive and how much I enjoy using it, this might even be my new favourite car in the game. It may have surpassed the Hummer for me, which for most people probably doesn't sound like I'm saying much, but I absolutely love the Hummer. It's my most, or my highest mileage car by far. This though, I think I like even more. And part of the reason for that is probably because a car like this is one of my real-world dream projects. To have a hot rod, I would personally love to have it with a 2+2 cab that goes all the way to the back, with a gas turbine engine and a Boeing-style air intake on the front. I would love to build something like that in the game. This gets pretty close to what that could do in terms of performance. It's a brilliant machine, and the handling as well is so much better than it easily could be, even with racing tyres and all-wheel drive, it still manages to spin up its tyres even in third gear. It's that fast. So if you do decide to use this tune on this car, I hope of course you have a lot of fun with it, and if you did enjoy it, there are literally hundreds more like this which you can click through to see at the end of this video in the playlist. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.